Okay, so welcome to Montana Tech Talk. Today I'm speaking with Lindsay and Katja, who are the two people who run the Montana MDP program, or Montana Development Program. First, let me thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you.
I have just a whole list of questions I want to ask you, so let's jump in. Let's start with you, Lindsay. First, what is MDP?
So MDP is a Montana Development Program, which falls under the umbrella of the U.S. Youth Soccer Olympic Development Program. So we're that program for the state of Montana under Montana Youth Soccer Association.
Okay, so what is the goal of the program?
Well, ideally, we want to be able to identify the highest caliber of players within the state and provide supplemental training to them through monthly training sessions with our coaching staff, and then ultimately get them to ODP events throughout the region where they can be identified by regional scouts from US Youth Soccer as well as college scouts.
Okay. So basically maybe get them exposed to a higher level of play or competition that they maybe can't get to here in the state. Is that fair?
Correct. Yep, and with players of the same caliber. Correct.
Okay, awesome. Katja, what's your role in the program?
So I have been the ODP MDP administrator since 2017.
Okay. And Lindsay, what role do you play in MDP?
So I'm the director of the MDP program.
Okay.
Technicals.
Okay. So what does the director do? What is your job in that role?
Well, basically, I work with our crew to develop the programming, kind of the direction we want to see MDP go, hire the staff, the coaching staff, help just kind of set up the ID events, how we identify the players, help scout players if we see somebody out there that we think should be a part of the program, and then just overall just kind of organize with Katja, help organize training sessions, the events, and just kind of oversee again the whole technical side of it.
Okay. So Katja, as the administrator, I know when parents and kids show up to an event, and I think you're having, is it a tryout this weekend? Is that what you're having? Yeah. So I know when kids and parents show up, everything is there. The fields are set up. The goals are set up. Can you give me a brief description of what's involved in getting all this stuff ready just for a training session like this weekend?
So you need a field space. You need to know approximately how many kids are coming, if they're going to be playing 9v9 or 11v11. We usually have about 16 player ratio per coach. On an ID event, it's a little less because you have to pay closer attention. And so what I do is I secure the fields in a central location so that nobody has to travel. Montana is a real big state, and so we don't want to hold anything in Billings that will probably shy away the people from Flathead and Whitefish, because that would be a 10-hour drive for them.
Yeah, so you have multiple tryout or training events all over the state?
Correct, yes. Yeah, and we allow, so even at an ID event, after kids are selected for the state or the training pool, we do allow others to still register for a team if there is a need for players to join due to roster size.
What about, I know you guys do some out-of-state stuff. I think you do a lot of out-of-state stuff.
We do.
When it comes to either tournaments or events. What's involved in setting those up when you have to deal with kids coming from Kalispell and Billings and Great Falls and all over, and you have to get them into one location, say in Idaho or Nevada or Utah?
So if it's a neighboring state, we try to rent buses and get the kids, a few stops throughout the state so that the parents doesn't have to, travel too far on the morning off, and then offer a bus transportation. And the same goes for pickup. So the kids are dropped off at the same location unless that's communicated. So that's an option with neighboring states. But when we do travel to, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, or Nevada, we fly, and so it's actually really organized. I know it looks chaotic, but I get a lot of help from the coaches and from Lindsay while on site, and we pick up the players at the airport and bring them to the hotel, and then chaperone them throughout.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's a lot of organization that has to go into getting players from point A to point B, obviously safely and on time, I would think. So yeah, that's the logistics I think would be could be overwhelming for someone. So obviously you're doing a good job doing that. Lindsay, you're in charge of getting the coaches. Who is some of your coaching staff that you have?
This year we have, I'm actually really excited about our coaching staff this year. We have quite a few college coaches from the colleges, universities around Montana. We have a few club directors who are who've jumped on board with us, and then quite a few high school coaches who are also in there. So very experienced staff. We try to fit the right coach to the right group of kids, and I think this year we've got it's going to be a great combination this year of who we have.
Yeah. What about, do you have a goalkeeping coach for, that's kind of a specific position. A lot of clubs wish they had goalkeeping coaches. They're hard to come by. Do you have anyone in that position?
We don't have a set goalkeeper coach, but we do have a few coaches on staff who were goalkeeper coaches, were goalkeepers in college and beyond. And so we try to set up trainings for our goalies specifically throughout portions of our events and training sessions. So any one of those coaches can jump in and run a solid goalkeeping session for us.
That's awesome. That's an added bonus. What about the curriculum, or is every coach teaching the same thing to every age group, or are they all on their own? How does that work?
Previously there was a set curriculum where everybody trained the same thing every session. I changed that. I felt like after watching some of the teams, certain teams needed to work on specific areas, maybe other teams needed to work on other areas. So we give the coaches their freedom to train what they feel they need to train for that team heading into whatever the next event is. So, if they're not sure, we can help them, but these are high-level coaches that have no problem identifying what areas they need to work on. And so we do give them that freedom for each team.
Okay. And you have an age group, so I'm sure what's appropriate maybe for your 13-year-olds might be different for your 16-year-olds in the program as well.
Right.
So if let's say I'm a club player, why should I try out or go out for Montana MDP?
Well, again, it gives them an opportunity not only to play with other higher level caliber players, but to meet players from across the state, to learn how to play with other players outside of their own club. They socially get to interact with kids from other clubs, and it's neat then to see them back in the club season or the high school season where they know each other, they can identify each other and have that camaraderie. But the caliber of training they're getting out of our coaches, the the level of their teammates is high. And then just the possibility for exposure through the U.S. youth soccer system. Our players have an opportunity to go from the state team onto regional, onto the national, ranks with ODP. So there's a lot of opportunity for exposure to college coaches. And so it's just for the kids that want to look at going to the next level or getting a little more out of their soccer experience. It's a great opportunity for them.
Okay, awesome. So Katja, obviously I'm thinking about that administrative and setting all that up and getting everyone where they need to be. Do you have team or age group administrators to help you?
Yes, so we do have managers or administrators for each team that help at an event on site. They do anything from locate restaurants to eat at, where you can take large groups or groups of 20 on a Friday night or Saturday night. That sometimes is a task on its own. They do anything from bed checks to making sure that the kids have everything while they're at the hotel. Sometimes they're there for them. I mean, the field, somebody gets injured, they take them to the tent, have them checked out. Depending on the age group, take the kids to the bathroom. It's been really wonderful. Like, lots of support, and people are always offering.
So basically, the administrator's job is 24/7 on these events or these training sessions, and they're probably the last ones to bed and the first ones to get up in the morning, I'm guessing.
Yes.
What is the cost to play MDP, and also what do I get for my money?
So the junior group, so the ID events are now in August. Usually we have 2 or 3 of them. Now this year we only had 1. And kids that make the state team, it costs $300 for the training, and we train all the way through March twice a month on Sundays. And unless we have an event or Christmas where we don't train.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned juniors. So explain, if you would, the 2 levels, I guess is what you would call them, and what are they?
So the high school kids, we call them seniors. They don't train in their high school season. We do have an identification event for them, and it's very hard for them to come out and train in September and October, because high school trains 5 days a week, and then they have games on Saturdays. So we don't want to hurt our players. We want them to have their day of rest, and we do the tryout or identification event, and then we see them in November.
Okay. So Lindsay, what is, well, let me go back to Katja for a second. Katja, is there any financial aid available? So let's say, I'm a club player and I pay my club fees and my uniform, and it's like, oh, I'd love to do MDP, but there's only so much money to go around. Is there any financial aid for someone like that?
Yes. So on the junior side, we do offer financial aid. The juniors, there's a form on the MYSA website that players or families have to fill out before September 11th. And then, based on their income, we do offer financial aid. On the senior side, it's a little harder because, all of these events are not local or close. And so, even an airline ticket is not, we can't, and there's no bus transportation.
Right. So the base fee, the 300, that's for all the in-state training. And then if I get invited to these other events out of state and I have to either fly or take a bus, there's a set fee for each one of those. Is that right?
Yeah, we did post the last year's fees of the event that we attended. I would say depending on, if it's a play and stay or the cost of the hotel makes a big difference.
Right.
Between
There's always
yes, yeah. So between $125 and $250 a day. So if you have a 4-day event, 3-day event, $750 is the, it's high, but
yeah. So parents could go to the MYSA website and look up MDP and find those figures from a previous year, just to give them a ballpark, correct?
Just to give them a ballpark, and then go on Delta and see what a airline ticket from your town costs on top of that.
Right. So Lindsay, we have juniors and seniors. So seniors is from what age to what age, and junior is what age to what age?
So for the seniors, we do typically kids going into their sophomore year and up. So U16 to U18, U19s, where we fall there. And then the U12 and up would be the juniors. So it's because we do have the weird birth year split where some kids are already in high school. So yeah, we try to work around that. So usually it's, we try to work around that as much as we can.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier about regional, about regional camp. Could you give maybe just a brief idea of what regional camp is, and maybe how does a player get to regional camp?
Yeah, so regional camp is where some of the top players from across the region, the Far West region, which we're part of, are identified and brought in together. And this would be a step up into the Olympic Development Program process. As a director and then our coaches, we can nominate kids or recommend kids into sub-regional events. And then any of our events that we're at, mainly the ODP championships, the regional scouts are able to identify, and then they invite players into the regional camp. So if one of the regional scouts sees our kids and likes them, they can get an invite into that regional camp to compete with the other kids from the region.
Okay. That's probably, I would think, pretty special to get that invite, I would think. And this is for both of you. You guys can both chime in here. How does a player get involved in MDP? How do I find out about it? How do I find out when the tryouts are? Can any player get into MDP, or do I have to be part of Montana Youth Soccer?
Well, as far as how to find out about it, we do have our website with Montana Youth Soccer. We are on social media, and we are always posting our updates and information on those platforms. The player will need to be, and Katja, correct me if I'm wrong, but they do need to eventually be registered under MYSA for us. But we do. I'm gonna let Katja answer this one here, just because I don't want to misspeak.
So we have a big database platform called Got Sport now. Previously Got Soccer, and so all the players that have been involved on a club level get this email.
Okay.
That is regardless of if they're rec players or a smaller club or from a smaller club. They are all welcome to come and get identified.
Right. And I know you guys communicate with all of our clubs in the state. You're constantly sending out emails and information about the program, but as you know, it's like you can never communicate enough, it seems like. And even as much as you communicate, you probably still run into a parent or a kid that goes, wow, I've never heard of this program. So if somebody is interested, they can go to the Montana Youth Soccer website, look up MDP, find out who to contact, either Lindsay or Katja, maybe when tryouts are, and they can get more information there. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So let's wrap this up. Is there anything, Lindsay, that you would like to add? Maybe a frequently asked question that you get from parents or players?
I don't get too many questions that we haven't already discussed, you know, in the talk today. I do, you know, we just had our junior event, and we've had our largest turnout yet. So the program is growing, which is exciting, and it's a good time to get involved. You know, it's just supplemental training, and so any kid who's interested, we'd love to have them come out, give it a try, see what they think. But as far as questions I get, I think we answered most of them today.
Okay, good. Katja, what about you? Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so since 2018, that's when we had the first identification event, we pretty steadily went up 40 players every year to come to get identified. And I want to say that we are happy to get anybody exposure that wants to be exposed. And you know, I'm thrilled to be part of that process for players. I think.
Yeah, awesome. What's happening this weekend then, and where is it? When and where?
Okay, so we are holding the senior identification event in Helena at Siebel Field. We're starting at 10 a.m. Players do have to register. The link is on our website. If you can't find it, you're more than welcome to email me. I can send it to you. It starts at 10, goes for an hour and a half, then we break for an hour and a half for lunch, and then we have another session. Players do have to attend both sessions, and they're split up in age-appropriate groups.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for talking to me. I hope if people look at this video chat on our website, they find it helpful about information about MDP. And if they have any questions, they can contact either of you at any time, I'm guessing.
Right.
Yes. Thanks so much, Rick.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for talking, you guys. I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.